Hi, I'm Dave Salahig. Welcome to this episode of The Photo Performance. In this series of podcasts, I cover the digital processing tools and techniques that comprise the photo performance in the 21st century. These podcasts and posts provide in-depth reviews which are hard to find elsewhere on the web. After watching this podcast, please visit my website, photoperformance.org, and add your comments and questions. And if you find something useful here, please share it on your favorite social media platform. We've all been hearing a lot about the cloud and cloud computing lately. Apple has its iCloud, and there are other cloud storage websites like Dropbox and Google Drive. If you're a Photoshop or Lightroom user, you may have heard about Adobe's Creative Cloud. So what is Creative Cloud? In this video, I'm going to explain what the Creative Cloud has to offer photographers. We'll show the Creative Cloud as it currently exists and talk about some additional features that will be coming soon. Creative Cloud is a subscription to the full Adobe Creative Suite. It also includes cloud storage for your photos as well as for files from any Adobe Touch apps you may use. And the Creative Cloud includes some features for integrating your Touch apps with the desktop Creative Suite applications. I'll show how that works with Photoshop Touch later in this video. The Creative Cloud also includes website hosting for up to 5 sites using Business Catalyst, and it provides web fonts using Typekit. I won't cover Business Catalyst or Typekit in this video. The Creative Suite subscription includes Photoshop CS6 Extended, Bridge, and Lightroom 4, as well as all the other CS6 apps like Premiere Pro, After Effects, Audition, etc. These are the full desktop apps which have been available in the past on DVD. Now with Creative Cloud, you download the Creative Suite apps instead of installing from DVD. One of the advantages of getting the Creative Suite in this way is that new features and new apps can be rolled out more quickly than in the past. Also, like previous versions of the Creative Suite, with the Creative Cloud, you are allowed to install the apps on up to 2 computers. A new feature with Creative Cloud is that you can now install one copy on a Mac and the other on Windows. Previously, you had to choose one OS or the other for both machines. In addition to the Creative Suite apps, the Creative Cloud includes 20 gigabytes of cloud storage, which you can access anywhere you have an internet connection. This allows you to do things like backing up photos while on a trip and sharing photos with clients and editors. To use the Creative Cloud for backup, you still need a laptop to offload your photos from your camera and then to upload to the cloud. But the nice thing is that if something should happen to your laptop, you still have an extra copy of your photos safe on Adobe's servers. However, bear in mind that you'll need a fast internet connection if you plan to upload lots of photos. If you're at home or at your studio, this may not be a problem, but on the road it could be a concern. In the latter case, you might want to consider backing up only your best shots to the cloud. The Creative Cloud website is unlike most cloud storage sites in that it specializes in displaying image files, including layered Photoshop files, the new Photoshop Touch files, TIFF files, and RAW files like NEF files from Nikon. This is great for photographers, as this makes it easy to share photos with colleagues and customers. I'll show how sharing works shortly. However, at this point I have to say that the Creative Cloud user interface feels surprisingly awkward for an Adobe product. For example, you can't drag and drop a file into a folder. I had to spend a little time exploring the user interface and watching tutorials to get fully up to speed. Fortunately, Adobe provides a series of short videos to help you learn your way around the Creative Cloud UI. For a link to these videos, see the list of Creative Cloud resources at my Photo Performance blog. I'll give the URL at the end of this podcast. When you click on an image file in Creative Cloud, you will get a larger preview of the file, and you will see a set of icons that provide information and allow you to do things with the file. Here's the basic info for this JPEG file, and here's a color palette that Creative Cloud automatically creates from colors within the image. You can either download an ASE file for importing into the Photoshop Swatches panel, or you can go to the free Adobe Cooler website to work on the color palette. Unfortunately, if you click the Visit Cooler link, it doesn't load the color palette displayed here. If you want to work with this color palette in Cooler, you will have to recreate it manually there. The next icon after the info icon is a comment icon, but before I talk about that, I want to mention this next icon. When you view a Photoshop file in Creative Cloud, you will see this additional icon that isn't present for JPEGs. This icon lets you turn on and off the individual layers within your Photoshop file. This image has 4 layers, including 2 for color enhancement. Watch the pine needles on the right when I click off this green boost layer. Now watch as I turn it back on. And watch the tree trunk as I turn off the red boost layer. And then again as I turn it back on. In this video, you're seeing the image change instantaneously as I click these layers off and on. However, I should point out that this fast performance is only possible because I previously toggled these layers just before recording this video. The first time you hide or show a layer, the Creative Cloud server renders a preview of your PSD file with the requested change. Depending on the size of your file, this can take up to a minute or so. But once the preview has been done, it's cached so that toggling the same layer on or off again will be quick. You can use layers when sharing files with clients to show different options for color correction, for example, as shown here. Or, of course, you can show any other kind of creative alternative that can be displayed by switching on or off one or more layers. This is a great way to provide choices for clients to choose from or to give their approval for. And so you might ask, how does a client let you know their choice? Well, besides the obvious email approach, they can leave comments here in the Creative Cloud. To do that, they, or you, enter comments by clicking on this icon. I'm going to use the comments feature to leave instructions for my client on how to turn on and off those color correction layers. Now that I've done that, I'm going to share this photo with Tom so that he is able to see the photo. When you first click on the share icon, the photo will be shown as private, which is the default. By clicking on public, you can see some options for sharing the file. I'm going to click Allow Comments, but not Allow Download. Next, I'm going to enter Tom's email address here, and then share the link to the file with him. Tom will get an email with a clickable link notifying him that the photo is ready. Then when Tom looks at the photo, he can leave his comment. By using this comment option here in the Creative Cloud, the comments will be attached to this specific photo. If you were to conduct the discussion via email, you would have to refer to the photo by file name and possibly by the folder and subfolder as well. But by using the Creative Cloud, if you have a conversation with multiple comments or multiple people, the complete discussion will be maintained here in context with the photo. I'm going to wrap up part 1 of this 2-part video, Creative Cloud for Photographers, with a look at a few features we haven't seen yet. First, I want to point out the search feature. To search, click this magnifying glass icon. You can then enter a file name or any portion of a file name to search for. So if I search for JAB, I find my 2 files containing Jabberwocky in the name. Unfortunately, it doesn't search inside files, so if, for example, you have a Photoshop file with a text layer containing a bit of Jabberwocky, you won't find that text by searching for it. In this case, the Jabberwocky1 file includes the text Brillig, both in an active text layer and in the layer name. It also contains the first verse of the poem in a note inside the PSD file, but a search for Brillig comes up empty. Continuing our look at the Creative Cloud user interface, I'll point out the upload icon and the new folder icon before moving over here to the brick wall icon. Actually, this icon is really the thumbnail view icon, but I like to call it the brick wall for obvious reasons. While in thumbnail view, you can see previews of files, but if you want to move or delete files, you can only do it one file at a time. Next to the thumbnail view icon is the list view icon. In list view, you can select multiple files to move to another folder or delete. Unfortunately, there are currently no sorting options, so for example, I'm unable to sort by file name, file size, or date created. This last icon shows your deleted files, or as it's known in Windows, the recycle bin. If you accidentally delete a file and it's still in your recycle bin, you can restore it by selecting it and clicking the restore icon. Well, that's all for part 1. Check back in a week or so for part 2, in which I'll show you how you can use Photoshop Touch on your iPad or Android tablet to edit images on the go and upload them to the Creative Cloud. Photoshop Touch is a surprisingly powerful and convenient editing tool for a tablet app and is well integrated with the desktop version of Photoshop. I'll also demo some sharing options built into Photoshop Touch. Next time, I'll finish up with an overview of the Creative Cloud, discussing some options for your mobile to desktop workflow, and I'll look at some flaws in Creative Cloud and some features that are currently missing, as well as some features that will be coming soon. Okay, see you next time. Thanks for watching this episode of The Photo Performance. I hope you learned something interesting and useful today. Please visit photoperformance.org for more photo processing news and reviews. Follow me on Twitter or on Google+, and please share this info through your social media networks.